logged into Glow, and then I've clicked on the Microsoft Office app on the Launchpad, but you can get in any app that has Microsoft on it, you can get into it. If you go to the 9-dot waffle, if you don't see it, click on Office, but you should see it down there, and you simply click on Whiteboard and it'll pop open as a whiteboard. As before, when we mentioned Jamboard, you'll either have nothing here or you'll have lots of stuff. So you simply click on the plus where it says New Whiteboard to get a whiteboard. And there is also an app available on the iPad. You can also open a whiteboard in Teams, which I'll show you in a minute, and I'll talk you through how to do that. So again, you've got a series of functions here. So you've got the select tool, you've got that inking tool, which you can see is popped open here. So you've got different pen types, and you've got the highlighter, and you've got the rubber. You've also got this lasso select, which is great if you want to not clear the whole page, but clear a bunch of stuff on the page. You just lasso around all the stuff you want to get rid of, and it'll erase it. And then you've also got all these new create tools. So just as we have a note, so simply clicking on the note, pick a colour. Goes a little bit further because you can actually bring in grids of notes. So you simply click on it and it brings them in as grids. So you've got a whole series of them and you can just move them around wherever you want. So if you know you're going to need more than one sticky, it's handy to do the notes grid. Click the back arrow to take you back. You've got your text box, same thing, click. You've got your text to start writing. Okay, so I've written my sentence in there, and what I have is I also have alternative text on there if you wanted to use that, particularly if you're putting in images and you have visually impaired learners in there. As you can change the colour, so you can simply click on colours, you can click on the edit button to edit it, and you can also copy it so that you are able to paste it and reuse it. So the same features as we saw in Jamboard, just in a slightly different place. If you click on the 3 dots, you also have the bring to front and send to back. But one of the features that I really like about Whiteboard is you have the facility to lock things on the screen. So I can lock that piece of text. I don't have to import it as a background, but I can lock that piece of text. So I can have a background and still lock pieces of text round about it, which I think is dead handy. So it means I can move other things around when I see my handles, but what I can't do is I can't move that. Okay, I have to move it all together. So that's my text button. Again, you have your shapes, a range of shapes, but you have a few more lines and things that you can select from. So again, if I select my arrow key, I'm just turning the way in which I want it to point. I can use the thicker arrow. And again, I can change the colour of it simply by going in here and saying, well, I don't want any colour, or I do, I want an outline colour and things like that. So a few more features there. Going back, I have reactions, and this is one kids love for obvious reasons, because somebody can leave a sticky note and then someone can come along behind and add a reaction. Oh, I think that was wonderful. I think they should get a clap. So I'm simply clicking on that and I'm adding the clap in there, and I can make it even bigger. I can say, yes, that's the right answer for peer marking. I can cross it if you're happy to use that with your learners. I can put a question mark, you can see all the things there. So I love the reactions, I think they're brilliant. It's also good if you're taking a vote for something. If you imagine you've put up 3 options and you're asking kids to vote, that's just a different way of voting. Rather than putting a sticky, they're all putting a thumbs up or a clap or a star for the ones that they like best. Okay, coming down then, again, we have the opportunity to bring in an image. So same as before, it's one that's stored on your device, or you can search for Bing images. So I can simply bring in a picture. So if I bring in this picture, for example, then that gives me that picture. And as I said, I can lock it in place so it doesn't move. And we have templates. So a bit like I showed you in the Canva, they've created all their own templates. So you can have a look through them. Let's look at the learning ones, and it gives you different templates for different things. Exit tickets. Love that. Glows and grows. KWL charts, all of those different things. So you can use those templates as your background, and all you have to do is click on it and you just drop it wherever you want, and that'll go in as your background. Now remember, this is huge. It's an unlimited board that we have here. So if I zoom, you can see I'm sitting at 8%. So if I go to 100%, gives you an idea of the size again. If you remember, I suggest you have a go at that so you get used to it, so you don't go, oh, hold on, I've lost this. I'm not sure where it's all gone. Okay, so that's templates. And then the last thing that you have is you have documents. Again, documents is really, really handy if you've got a document that you want people to add comments to and you've already created it. So you can bring in things like a PowerPoint. It lets you bring in a PowerPoint. And one of the great things that you can do is you don't need to bring in all the pages. So say if you've got a PowerPoint that you've already got set up, but you don't want all the pages, you just simply click on the pages that you want it to insert. So that's me inserting both those pages. I'm going to move them over so that we can see them a bit more clearly. And I'm going to move my board over and zoom in a bit. So you can see I've got the two pages, but I don't need to have them side by side. I can move them around. Once I've imported them, they become movable objects by themselves. Again, though, I can use that locking tool so that if I don't want the kids to pick up and move them, I don't need them to. And you can see I just taken, the digital learning, self-evaluation. And I was thinking, we used to use Word documents for self-evaluation in school all the time. I thought this would be a nice way to do it. So you can click on the pen and you can write on there if you've got a touch device. It's absolutely impossible to write with your mouse. I apologise for that terrible writing, but if you've got a touchscreen device, it's dead easy to do. And then people could add that in. And if you didn't want them to add it in text, then again, they can put the sticky notes on, and you can add your sticky notes on and on until you make them small. You can stack them up, and you've got all that information, and you just stick them all on. And again, you've got all that evidence. Okay, you'll notice my whiteboard isn't named at the moment, so all I have to do is simply name it. So I'm just going to call this DLC board, and that's it. Okay, and on your Windows 10 devices, you do have the desktop app. You can download the Windows 10 app for Whiteboard, but it's the reason I'm not showing you it that way is because it's about to get updated. So you'd be better off waiting until it's updated, I would suggest. Now, I said I would show you how to add it into a Teams meeting, so I will do that next. So here I am in my Microsoft Teams app. And what I want to do is I want to share a whiteboard screen. So I'm using the browser version here, but I still have the open share tray. So I simply click on that, and you can see along here you have the option to open up a Microsoft Whiteboard. So I simply click on that and it loads up. That will give me a whiteboard that people can collaborate on or I can present on. So you'll see what comes up here is the option to present, where only I can edit or collaborate. I'm going to choose collaborate, which is by default what it will come up as. So I simply click on collaborate, and then I have that whiteboard all set up for me, ready to use within the team, allowing people to add stickies on it. So really helpful if you're sharing something with your class and you want them to live add things to it. And you can see it's called the whiteboard meeting, and it's in that team. So when you go to your actual whiteboard app, you will be able to see it there called that. So I'm just going to add a quick image on here. I can search for a Bing image or I can upload an image. So I'm just going to quickly do that. So I'm going to pop this in. So I've got my professional learning graphic here. And then when I go to my whiteboard app, I'll be able to see at a glance where that is. So I'm just going to go over there now. So here I am, I've gone into my whiteboard app as I showed earlier, and you can see whiteboard meeting edited today at this time. And if I simply click on that and open, it allows me to get back into that. And that's when I can rename it and select whatever I need that to be. So whether that's a particular class or whether it's a staff meeting or anything like that, I can do that there.